Well, it's been a few weeks since my last game review. I can only apologise for that to my subscribers, and to be honest, totally blame Grand Theft Auto 5. But here we go with another game review then, and this is a game released on the Mastertronic Plus packaging. The game is called Die Alien Slime. Pretty cool artwork on the front cover of this game. The logo is a bit unremarkable, but as you can see from the image there, we've got a space soldier with his gun and his blue uniform in a spaceship, and one of his mates is already dead there. Pretty cool artwork there. Spine's pretty much as you'd expect, and the back cover has got some screenshots. Looks to be like an overhead view run and gun style game, and a little bit of blurb. You're the last human survivor aboard the starship Takia, in which a military experiment to breed self-reproducing alien killing machines has gone horribly wrong. Isn't that a familiar story? And an emergency shuttle is only activated when the ship has been set to self-destruct. Sounds a little bit like the plot of Alien to me. Inside we've got some instructions, starting with the scenario. As you can see there, it says again, you're the last human survivor aboard the research ship, and it's actually pronounced Takia apparently. So I caught that up when reading the back cover. Military experiment, blah blah blah, same stuff that was on the back cover in a bit more detail. So you basically got to escape the spaceship and set it to self-destruct. There's a bit about the self-destruct system there, in fact. And then inside, more about the self-destruct, and then normal terminals. You can access computer terminals within the game. Doors, a whole section about doors, how exciting. There's also an elevator to move from one level of the ship to another. Transport blocks, energy barriers, all kinds of stuff going on. It seems to be quite an in-depth game, in fact. And then it tells you about the screen and special bonuses, and then there's some key controls there and items that you can pick up, and the loading instructions. So very comprehensive instructions there. As it says at the bottom there, it's written by Pagoda Software. So here's the loading screen, and it's not a bad picture. It's got a couple of blue clad spacemen running around on a planet, but it's a bit unusual because it's got no logo for the game or copyright or anything like that. It's just a picture. So with some ominous music playing over it, here's the title screen with a high score table, and there you go, there's the title screen. It says Die Alien Slime, not that spectacular looking really, just a lot of text. There's some credits on there as well. Annoyingly, it shows the high score table for longer than the credits. So it's designed by Pagoda Software, copyright by Mastertronic obviously. The music on this title screen is pretty cool actually, quite sinister and everything. So anyway, let's get on with the game itself. And you materialise, you can see straight away there's already aliens attacking. These aliens respawn constantly, as it did say on the back cover of the game. You're armed with a pretty naff rifle that's like a pea shooter to start with. As you can see, that red one's already respawned. It's kind of tricky. There's a spaceship there, which I think is probably the escape pod, but I can't get to it at the moment. So it's kind of a bit like Alien Syndrome, the Sega game, or perhaps Alien Breed, which is a series of games done by Team 17 for the Amiga. So it's an overhead view, run around the spaceship and shoot stuff kind of game. Or so it seems, but actually it's more of an adventure game, because you've got to find various things within the ship to enable you to escape. You've got to find discs to unlock doors and so on. The thing I picked up there was an energy shield, which stops your energy from going down for a little while. That's already run out, unfortunately. The constantly respawning enemies are the biggest problem in the game. It means you're forever having to shoot stuff and avoid stuff shooting at you. But basically the idea of the game is that you explore each level, and I've only ever played this first level. There's various rooms you can go into, so if you walk into this you can go into the door here and have a look around this room, and basically there's nothing in there. and there's various things to pick up, and you can also access terminals within some of the rooms, not that one. As you can see, more aliens just constantly materialise out of the middle of nowhere. What can I say about things graphics wise? The scrolling's very nicely done, it's very smooth. The graphics are reasonably good. The aliens are, you know, kind of colourful and reasonably varied. There's a lot of grey background, but there's lots of detail on the various things in the room. This is a terminal here, and you press the @ sign on the keyboard to access the terminal, and you can see your inventory by pressing 1, which just tells you what kind of weapon you've got. And you can also see all these other options to switch various barriers and things on and off. You can only do that when you get the appropriate disc, which is found by exploring the spaceship. So let's do that. The idea of the game is to undo a load of locks or something like that to enable the self-destruct, and then set the ship to self-destruct and then escape in the escape pod, which is pretty much the plot of Alien, the classic movie by Ridley Scott. So I'll roam around a little bit longer. The little guy moves reasonably well. The sound's not great, it's just a few blips and bloops from the guns, and the contact, the noise that it makes when you make contact with an alien with this gun is one of the most pathetic sounds you'll ever hear in a video game, I think. Funny sort of high-pitched squeak. So you've only got 1 life and an energy bar, which is gradually decreasing at the top left there underneath the score. There's also a time limit, which is ticking down on the right hand side. Just one little thing I want to show you is if you try and walk off the edge of this platform, your guy kind of falls off and climbs back on. So that's kind of cute but pointless. So I'll have a bit more of a wander around. There's nothing going on down there that I can see. So the idea of the game is basically, as I said, to explore various rooms. Unfortunately, there's a lot of rooms to explore and not a lot to find in them. Up this kind of bridge here, I'm not quite sure why there's all this darkness when you're on the sort of floor of a spaceship, but there is. Lots more aliens on there shooting at me, and you come across this rather big green blobby gelatinous thing which you have to shoot away, and while you're shooting away at it, things are trying to shoot you from behind as well, making it rather difficult. I'm nearly dead already, in fact, and that's it, I'm dead, which is one of the worst performances in the game I've had so far. So I'll just try and play through it a little bit more. So here I am back at that bridge again, and again lots of things trying to kill me, annoyingly. Try and shoot away this big green blobby stuff. You can see it gradually starts to diminish. It takes ages and there's no real point to it. You can perhaps see just on the top left there above the score is an S. That's that energy shield that I collected right at the beginning of the game first time around. The best aim for the game is basically to avoid all the aliens rather than try and shoot them. Got past there now. So this unlocks another part of the ship, which is basically more of the same. It's just wander around, try and find useful things in the rooms. It's a very big spaceship, it's fair to say. This is just one floor of it, remember. And as you can see, the best way to get round it is basically just to avoid the aliens rather than try and take them on unless you absolutely have to. So this is a part of the ship I've never explored before. I don't seem to be able to get through that door. I must need a key from somewhere. That's a bit annoying after walking along this very long, thin platform. So much for the exploring. So there's not really much else to say about the game other than it's kind of boring. it's quite polished and nicely put together. The constantly respawning aliens that shoot at you as well are particularly annoying. I think the levels are probably too big. That's kind of the problem. It's quite impressive that they've managed to put all this stuff together, but it kind of gets boring wandering around them all so much. See if we can find anything in this room. There's some more energy behind that thing, but I'm guessing that thing will kill me if I walk into it. That might not be such a bad thing actually. I might try and do that in a moment. Not really sure what else is there. Oh, falling off the edge of something there. Right, let's take a chance and walk into this thing and see what happens. Oh, nothing. Okay. So I can't get anywhere in that room either. I'm hoping to try and find something else on the floor other than these energy things, just to prove that there are other pickups in the game. So finally I've found something to pick up. There's a score, which as you can see there, gives you a score boost of 5,000 points. See if I can get out of here. I'm running a bit low on health now. But in the next room, if I can get to it, they don't half like putting a lot of doors in this game. There we go. Is the opportunity to change weapons. If I walk into this LA, which I think stands for laser, it'll give me a laser instead of the rifle. And as you can see, I've got a laser now. Which might help me get rid of these annoying aliens a little bit quicker. Or maybe not. Doesn't seem to make any difference. Well, the pink ones gets rid of them pretty quickly, but I'm running out of health again now. Oh yeah, the laser's definitely an improvement, so you can pick up more powerful weapons. That looks like a theatre or a cinema or something there. There's a lot of seats there. Certainly no effort spared in trying to map out a rather extensive spaceship. It's just a shame it's all rather almost too much and kind of dull to wander around all the time. Still haven't found anything that'll switch off these gates and things. The laser gun is proving quite useful though. Oh, there's something else here. Wonder what an ML is, I'm not sure. Let's see. Well, that seems rubbish in comparison, but let's try shooting with that. It makes horrible noise, so I'm going to go back to the laser. So I'm nearly out of health now. I'm going to die any second. I see no opportunity to pick up more energy anywhere or replenish my energy, which seems a little bit unfair to try and deal with all these onslaught of aliens without any kind of backup energy. I've wandered around a lot of rooms and got lost. So basically what I can say to sum up is there's quite a bit of gameplay here. It's reasonably nicely put together, but it's just kind of dull. There goes the last of my energy. It's a bit of a shame because there's definitely the potential for a good game there, but it's just too boring and too laborious to wander around without actually making any obvious progress. So in summary, probably not worth $2.99 unless you're a real glutton for the punishment of wandering around for so long.
If you only knew the power of the dark side.
2, 1, 0.